Hello YouTube. Today we are doing another test. The joys of chasing the best sound possible out of my motovlogging videos. I'm sure I'm not the only one. If you know what I mean, leave a comment below. But yeah, so luckily I haven't had that many camera issues, so that's all sorted. But I recorded a video just the other day and I noticed the sound wasn't as good, you know. It's fine when we're going at these sort of speeds, but when we are going anything over 60 miles an hour, it's quite bad. You can barely understand what I'm saying. So I was quite annoyed because you know, it's like you go out, you create this nice video and then it turns out shit. So yeah, today I'm just gonna be doing some testing. I'm not even sure whether I'll be publishing this live or not. If the results are good, I might, just so I can kind of sort of help others. I know I've done another video a while back where I was playing around using an external recorder, and that's still good, but the thing is, it's just too much of a headache every single time to bring the GoPro and another recorder and everything. So it's just a pain in the ass. I much rather the quality of the sound was much better, so I will put a link in the description so you can check that out. But yeah, I much prefer to just have one single device and then wire the microphone straight into it. So yeah, just to kind of explain you the setup right now, I have a GoPro 9 and I have a Purple Panda mic, which is okay. I mean, I know a lot of people are using the Purple Panda mic. My only annoyance with this mic is that it's so long, and I think this is the case with all the mics. They're so long and you need to try to hide it behind the cheek pad, you know, hide all that cable. So I'm yet still to find a good mic which is just short, specifically for motovlogging. Right, so it's quite windy here, so I'm actually curious how this is going to sound. So I know previously, long time ago, before I took a break from YouTube, I was testing different setups, different microphone placements, and I think the best one I found was just next to the cheek pad, and the microphone was kind of like sticking out a little bit. I've seen this in one of Blockhead's videos. Again, I'll put it in one of the description below so you can check out his helmet setup. And this is exactly the same setup I had yesterday, but the sound, for whatever reason, was crap. So what I've done today, what I've done now, just before I went on this, went out, I've actually placed the microphone inside the cheek pad. Right, so before I had it outside the cheek pad. I even had one of those wind flurry stuff, and again, it didn't really help much. But this time I've placed it inside the cheek pad, without the wind muffle, the big flurry thing, because it just wouldn't fit. So it's just the mic plus the default, you know, that black sort of shield. And I just realized that in my GoPro setting there is a setting for wind, but I think that is off. I think that was also a recommendation of another YouTuber. Oh, which one was it? Teapot One or something like that. So the plan is, so I'm already doing 60 miles an hour now. I'm curious how it sounds, and I will stop at some stage, and then I will, in my GoPro setting, I will change that wind from off to on, and yeah, basically see how it sounds. So yeah, here we go, the joys of trying to... Oh, that's a really nice car. I think it was an Audi or something. So yeah, the joys of trying to get the best sound possible out of your motovlog videos. Actually, something else I'm testing now. Previously I was using a oh, why am I in 6? See, it's like when I'm talking to you guys, I completely forget to change gears and stuff. Yeah, it's really windy here. I'll have to compare this to the footage from my previous video and see how it sounds. If it's just a little bit better, then I might put that up as well, just as a comparison. So we'll have the mic sort of like outside the cheek pad, and now this one right now inside the cheek pad, with the wind setting off on the GoPro. And literally the next step up is to activate that wind to auto. Yeah, I love the way this Harley sounds. But I'm not so sure about the way they ride. I mean, this one is probably comfy, but I'm not sure if I told you guys a while back. I have no idea why. I think by default it was auto, but I think I was just watching a video about you know, getting the best sound. Oh yes, I remember some in that video specifically, Teapot 1, he mentioned crackling noises from the mic. Now I never had any issues, but apparently he was saying in his test that because that setting is not always on, it's auto. So basically sometimes it turns itself, sometimes it turns itself on, sometimes it turns itself off. That, at least based on what he was saying, it was causing like some crackling noises. So I think that's why I thought, you know what, better safe than sorry, let's turn that off. But hey, I might have to turn it back on, you know, if it helps. Oh, and as I was starting to say a little bit earlier, the other thing I'm sort of testing now is this Scenic app. I was using an Android before, and I've tried Moto. I've tried Moto, and it was okay. I mean, for the first 2 rides it was fine, but then it literally took me to some shitty roads, and it was yeah, it wasn't great. Even though I have turned the, you know, I know there were some options like avoid unpaved roads, gravel roads and that sort of stuff, so I've already done that. Yet it still took me to some of those roads. But recently I went back to an iPhone. Yes, I'm an Apple fan. I've had Apples for years, although I had a quick break for about a year or two just so I can see how Samsung is. So yeah, I'm back on iPhone, and one thing I've noticed is that, because with Android the most popular app was Moto. You know, there were a few other apps, but they weren't as popular as Moto. But with this one on iPhone, I noticed Moto. So I honestly don't know how many real installs he had, but I think he had about 500 reviews or so. So 500 people who left a review, whilst the Scenic app, which apparently I've heard is the 3.0 version, like a new version or something, it had about 1,500, so that pretty much almost makes it 3 times more popular. So I thought, okay, let's give this a go and see how it works. The good thing about these apps is that, especially when you don't know the area, you know, I quite like that round trip feature. So you just select, hey, I want to ride for 60 miles, 100 miles. You can even select the direction, whether you want to go north, south, east, west or something, and then yeah, it will just generate a round trip for you. So that's quite clever, you know, I like that. So we'll see how that goes. I might just create a separate, I'll definitely create, if things work out well, I will try the Kali Moto as well, and I will create a separate video on that. So yeah, I think I'm gonna stop at some stage and I will switch that thing. Right, let me stop here. Oh no, maybe oh yeah, that should be fine. Right, so I'll stop here, and then I'll basically what I'm doing in all I'm doing right now. So the microphone will still be inside the cheek pad, and inside GoPro I will be switching that wind feature to auto. So right now it's off. Okay, perfect. Right, so I will see you in a bit.
A few moments later.
Right, and we are back. Now I don't think it will help much, because one thing I realized is that I can change that setting from off to on, or to auto, but the moment I plug in my external microphone, so basically I have an adapter, so the moment I plug that in, the option becomes grayed out. So I have a feeling that this option with the wind really only applies for the built-in mic inside the camera, or if you're using like a media mod. Yeah, so I don't think it's going to help now, but we'll see. I just got a new pair of shoes and it feels a bit weird to change gears. Yeah, so as I was saying earlier, one of the reasons I decided to just use the GoPro on its own is because it's just much easier. You have one camera, the microphone feeds in directly, so you don't have to mess with anything else. Because in my previous video I was recommending, well, I wasn't necessarily recommending, that's just something I've tested out and it worked quite well. I was using a, I forgot to do my helmet strap. Okay, so we'll have to stop. Yeah, so in my previous video I was testing a Zoom H1, so the microphone would actually be wired to that, and the benefits of that is that with an external microphone you have control over the gains. With the GoPro you don't. So basically GoPro does whatever it wants. You know, if GoPro thinks that the sound is too low, it will increase it, or the other way around if you think it's too noisy. But sometimes if it's not fast enough, the sound will clip, you know, will distort, and that's not good either. Whilst having that external one, you can adjust, you can create some settings for it. But the thing is, whenever you want to go somewhere, you always have to take two devices. Whenever you want to record something, so like right now I have the remote. I don't, if I ride for like an hour or so, I don't record all the time, because that creates unnecessary footage, so it's going to be harder to edit. Right, so let's see, 60 miles an hour, we'll see how this goes. So yeah, that creates unnecessary footage, plus it drains the battery faster. So I quite like the option of having to turn on, turn off whenever I want. But of course, with having like an external microphone recorder, you have to, and for some people it's the issue that they have to sync the audio in post. That's dead easy, that's not really a problem. But it's more about the fact that you know, when you want to start and stop with GoPro, it's easy because you have the remote, or the GoPro, it's obviously attached to your camera, so you can easily press the button directly. But with that one you can't. So unless you leave it to record all the time, so that's another option. You leave it to record all the time. But yeah, but then again, it's going to be harder in post to find the right, you know, the right time when you've recorded. Let's say, because with the GoPro you might end up with 5-10 files, whilst with that one it's just going to be one big file, so you're going to have to like chop it off and sync it, and you know, so it's more complicated. But in general, you know, one device will always be easier than more convenient than two. Not to mention, if you want to take motovlogging to the next level, which I've tried it but I'm still trying to get used to it, is basically having an additional camera. So I have this for a second camera, because sometimes it's just having one angle, it's okay, you know, it can become quite boring. But if you have a second camera, you can kind of sort of switch, so straight away the video becomes more engaging, let's put it this way. So yeah, if you take two cameras, imagine having the external audio recorder in the same time, so that's 3 devices. So every single time when you want to create a video, you have to start all of them, you have to make sure you clap or something, you know, to kind of sort of have like a cue where you can use to sync all of them. So yeah, but we'll see how this sounds. I mean, we'll see how this sounds. So previously I have used a media mod as well, but now I'm using the mic adapter. Oh, not this one. Purely because yes, media mod was probably a bit more tidier, but it makes camera a bit more bulky. And the second thing is, especially with recording video, sometimes you have to change batteries. It's such a pain in the ass with the media mod, because you know, you have to take out the whole case, and of course you can't just take out the case, you have to basically unscrew one of these hinges, whatever they're called, right at the bottom. So you have to unscrew that, close those little flaps, pull out the camera and replace the battery, and then redo everything. So whilst now I can easily change the battery without even having to take the camera off the mount. So so yeah, because initially I started with media mod, whilst a lot of people, a lot of other motovloggers, they were still using the mic adapter, and for quite a while I just didn't understand why, until it became quite annoying when I had to change batteries. Or I would start video recording and the video would stop and it would tell me something about the SD card error, and I was like, oh my god, again I have to like undo everything just to kind of record, just to kind of fix it. So yeah, that's the reason I'm using the mic adapter instead of the media mod. So yeah, it's just a microphone, Purple Panda. I'm still trying to find a good mic. I'm not sure whether this is the best. I'm not sure whether there's any difference. I mean, sometimes I know when I'm not riding, I can pick up like heavy breathing sounds and that sort of stuff. So I don't know whether that's something with whether that's an issue with all microphones, or whether there are microphones which are better to deal with this or not. Like I said, with an external recorder it's easy because you can just set the gain lower, and that way it will try to pick up less of those breathing sounds. But with GoPro you can't, because GoPro chooses these settings for you. But hey, we'll see how it goes. I might have to, I mean, literally right now, if this setting doesn't really affect much, and if the sound is still crap at 60 miles an hour, 60 plus, and the microphone is already inside the cheek pad, there's really not much I can do. So the next step would be to really just try to find a different mic altogether. So we'll see how it goes. But I think that's it for this video. I should have plenty of footage to work with and compare it. So yeah, if I am to post this live, thanks for watching. Hit that like button, and of course subscribe to support the channel and to be notified when I release more videos. Take care and ride safe.